Bro, uploads for channel Jojet 625, bro. Loading.
To race on through parts of the Midwest and now heading into the Tennessee Valley. As right now we've got multiple warnings, not only severe thunderstorm warnings, but also tornado warnings and even a tornado emergency here. That's this box here in purple in Kentucky, where we've had a large and destructive tornado. Reports of some significant damage and also fatalities starting to come on in. This is Hopkins and Muhlenberg counties. This is observed, and the
Muhlenberg, not Muhlenberg, idiot.
This storm's been on the ground, or this tornado's been on the ground for quite some time now, and it continues to move on off toward the north and northeast. It does show at least some signs of some slight weakening now, but as you can see from the radar, we are seeing what looks to be additional tornado warnings now being put out for Ohio County, including the cities of Beaver Dam, Beta, and Hartford. Once again, this is an observed tornado potentially moving into this area. And then further north, we're in Breckenridge, Grayson, and Hancock counties. Again, we are in the state of Kentucky, Hardinsburg, Irvington, and Patesville. Please take cover now. Get in your safe place, as this storm has had a history of producing a large and destructive tornado as it continues to move on off toward the north and northeast at about 45 miles per hour. As we get in a little closer, we can see here that we do have a little bit of a couplet here that does look like it's starting to just weaken a bit and kind of come apart, but very strong winds. And again, tornado emergencies, this box in purple, it doesn't look like they're going to extend that here further north in these additional warnings, but still a very dangerous storm, potentially a destructive tornado heading on off toward the north and northeast and heading toward Beta, and probably going to head north of Beaver Dam here over the next 20 to 30 minutes. Centertown, Hartford, Combsford, Sulphur Springs, Horse Branch, all areas that you should be taking cover now. Get into your safe place, lowest level of your home, potentially into an interior room if you do not have a basement. And as we can see here from the correlation coefficient, we are showing some debris that is getting kicked up with this cell as it continues to move on off toward the north and east. Other thunderstorms continue to produce tornado warnings here further on down toward the west and southwest earlier, where we did have power flashes around Central City, just north and west of Kentucky Parkway, and west of Central City. The power is out, and numerous reports of power outages along with the damage in and across the area. This tornado watch does stay in effect until 5 a.m., including Memphis down toward Shreveport. I'm sure we'll continue to see additional watches as we go on through the evening, and then until 3 a.m. as we head further north. Places like Louisville and Nashville, you're also under a tornado watch, meaning that the severe weather threat is going to continue to roll right on through the nighttime hours tonight. We'll continue to keep you updated as we head on through this evening and through the overnight hours into the early morning. We'll now send you back to your regularly scheduled program. Extremely dangerous situation continuing now out across Kentucky and parts of the Midwest as we continue to see what looks to be another tornado warning now as we get into Ohio County, Fordsville. No longer a tornado emergency, but this was a storm that's had a large and potentially destructive tornado, certainly destruction back toward the west and southwest, moving on off toward the north and northeast. So a considerable threat here with this cell as it continues to move on off toward the north northeast. Fordsville, take cover now, and areas upstream of that, as we are still showing what looks to be pretty good rotation in there, although it has come down just a bit. Still a very dangerous storm as it heads towards Narrow, Heights Falls, Dempster, Extell, and Fisher over the next 25 minutes or so. So continue to take cover, take the lowest level of your home, or get into your basement if you have one, or an interior room in this area. Considerable threat now continuing out across parts of Tennessee and Kentucky now, northwest of Bowling Green and west of Clarksville, northwest of Nashville for now. But these storms are producing what looks to be significant tornadoes continue to push off toward the north and east. Going to cover this area first. We'll get to this one in just a second. First, as we get into Kentucky, these are active tornado warnings, and this cell here and also these cells here have produced what looks to be now radar indicated tornadoes, but have had a history of producing damage and also a few fatalities, and some reports starting to come on in here, unfortunately. So very dangerous storms. Davies, Henderson, Spencer, those are the counties in Kentucky right now. And
Spencer County's in Indiana.
This cell is a Doppler indicated rotating thunderstorm, potentially producing a tornado with strong winds and hail. And then out ahead of that, we do have this other cell. This is the one that's been active all night, that has produced what was at one time a fairly large and destructive tornado, now moving on off toward the north and northeast. So this is the observed one near Breckenridge and Grayson. Take cover in those counties as the threat here is considerable. As we can see, it looks like the cell's kind of lost some of its hook echo there, the rotation, but it does seem to appear that there is still a threat here for a tornado, although the cell does look like it has lost a little bit of its signature and kind of flattened it out and losing its identity just a bit. There may still be some rotation in here to the east-southeast of Fordsville. A very dangerous thunderstorm cell nonetheless. And as it moves on off toward the north and northeast here pretty quickly. Some of the other areas affected include Axtell, Burris, Constantine, and Big Spring within the next 25 minutes. So take cover if you are in these areas. Get in your safe place in your home. And if you're in and around these areas also, note that you should probably be taking cover as we head on through the next 25 to 30 minutes. There is a little bit of a debris signature in there, right there, where it indicates there may be some debris getting kicked up. So we may have still a tornado on the ground, as we had said. Now, the warning came in as observed, so an observed tornado in that area, and then back toward the west of this cell. Once again, for Davies and Henderson County here, this is radar indicated, but still a very dangerous thunderstorm. Now, we're going to get into Kentucky, or out of Kentucky and into Tennessee. This is Henry County, an observed tornado with a threat that is considerable. You can see a little bit of a hook echo right there. This is a storm cell that is potentially producing a large and extremely dangerous tornado. Just a few minutes ago, it was west of Paris Landing State Park, moving east at 55 miles per hour. So you really don't have much time to react here. And this storm is moving on off toward the east-northeast pretty quickly, too. So you won't have much time to react. Same thing here for Stewart County and the areas in and around Dover. Observed tornado, considerable threat here. Please take cover if you're west-northwest of the Carlisle area. Dangerous thunderstorm with a tornado observed with this cell as it moves on off toward the north and northeast. If you are in Fairview, Big Rock, Legate, and Lafayette over the next 30 minutes, this storm could be impacting you. Please get to your safe place now as these dangerous thunderstorms continue to push on through. As you can see, a little bit of a couplet right there from the velocity showing where we may have that tornado. And as we had said, this is an observed tornado, but the debris field right now is not showing much. That doesn't mean there's not anything there. We're just not picking up. Severe weather most likely continuing through the overnight with numerous tornado watches in effect. Nashville, you're in this watch until 5 a.m. for the morning hours. Further toward the north up in Cincinnati, these are areas that are under the tornado watch until 6 o'clock during the morning hours. We'll keep you updated as needed. Next update in a couple of minutes. Considerable threat for tornadoes continuing now through the overnight hours. We're going to jump on this cell real quick here in Stewart County in Tennessee. Observed tornado, considerable threat here. As you can see, you got a little bit of a notch, and that's where the rotation in the thunderstorm would show where the tornado is. You can kind of see that little curl right in there. So very dangerous thunderstorm producing a tornado here, moving on off toward the north and east. So if you are in this area near Dover, in and around the Dover area, please take cover now. You can see where that rotation is right there. Pretty significant here, and a little bit of debris showing up there. So likely that's where the tornado is as it moves on off toward the north and northeast, and then back to the west and southwest of that. We've got another tornado warning observed here in Tennessee for Henry County. If you are in this area to the east of Puryear, please take cover now. Very dangerous thunderstorm and tornado heading your way.
2018, and look.
Very dangerous evening continuing now out across mainly Kentucky and Tennessee, although we do have numerous warnings for severe weather and observed tornadoes with some of these tornado warnings. Area of concern here, also an area of concern here up in Kentucky. Some good news with a destructive tornado earlier that produced significant damage to buildings and businesses. It looks like that cell is beginning to weaken just a bit, but still, we do have an active tornado warning here. This tornado warning stays for Breckenridge, Hardin, and Meade counties. A radar indicated now for hours this has been an observed tornado, but for now, for Flaherty, Radcliffe, and Vine Grove, take cover if you are in these areas just to the northwest of Elizabethtown. This is a very dangerous thunderstorm nonetheless with 3/4 inch hail, strong winds, and potentially still a rotation in there and potentially still a tornado. But as you can see from the velocity, we're not getting that couplet or that, you know, the two colors touching together, green or red or yellow and red. Right now it does look like it is kind of moving away a little bit and kind of weakening here as it washes out. The debris signatures, you can see back to the west and southwest, maybe a little bit of debris signature there. That looks more like noise on the radar. But right now it does look like we are seeing some weakening of that cell. Still a dangerous thunderstorm nonetheless. Now this is where we've got a considerable threat now. This is the latest in parts of Tennessee. New warnings coming up here from Montgomery and Stewart County. An observed tornado on the ground, a considerable threat here for significant damage. Into the west, in the northwest of the Clarksville area. Looks like this cell is going to miss that area into the west of Oak Grove. Getting reports in now of a tornado on the ground, Fort Campbell base, moving off to the northeast in Stewart County, crossing Kentucky. Does appear that it is going to miss Clarksville, but nonetheless, a very dangerous thunderstorm here that continues to produce a tornado. And as we said, an observed tornado. And it looks like the rotation now has moved just to the south and to the southwest of Lafayette. And that's where we're seeing the most significant rotation right now. As you can kind of see that couplet right there, that's where the tornado would be sitting. So you are in the Lafayette area and in and around this area. Please get to your safe place and into your shelter. Very dangerous thunderstorm and most likely a tornado here, which has been observed. moving on off toward the north and northeast. We're going to try to catch the debris signature here. Yeah, a little bit of a debris signature right there, meaning that's where the tornado is. It's probably a little further northeast now of that, as the radar is usually just a little bit behind what's actually happening on the ground. Either way, get into your safe place in and around the Lafayette area, and looks like you may start seeing what looks to be some of the impacts from that cell over the next couple of minutes. So Lafayette, Oak Grove, and Pembroke, once again, an observed tornado. This is a tornado warning until 12:45. Very dangerous thunderstorm continuing to push on off toward the north and northeast. And they're moving quickly, too, at about 55 to 60 miles per hour out to the northeast as we head on through the early morning hours. And around Memphis now in the metropolitan area, we do have a tornado warning now. This one's radar indicated Shelby County, including the cities of Bartlett, Germantown, and the city of Memphis. And again, this is radar indicated, but a dangerous thunderstorm nonetheless, with hail and potentially a tornado mixed in there. Look at the severe thunderstorm warnings even surrounding that. A very dangerous line of storms, even heading on back toward the west and the southwest as you get near the Hughes area. This severe thunderstorm warning for Crittenden, Lee, and St. Francis counties. And then further off toward the north, we also have very dangerous thunderstorms, which are non-tornadic, but northwest of Indianapolis, Park, Vermilion, and Vigo counties. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Blackford and Grant and Huntington counties, also to the south and to the southwest of Fort Wayne. There's a tornado possible with some rotation being indicated within this thunderstorm. But right now, the most dangerous cells appear to be down here just to the north and to the northwest of Clarksville, Christian counties. This is a tornado warning observed. A considerable threat here from what looks to be a tornado on the ground moving to the south of Hopkinsville. So again, emphasizing if you are in Lafayette, Oak Grove, and the Pembroke area, take cover now, get into your safe place. And then areas that are further on off toward the north and east of this cell include Elkton and Claymore and Danby. Within the next 30 minutes, we could see this cell with a tornado actually approaching you. We're going to continue to keep you updated as we head on through the overnight and the early morning hours. We're now going to send you back to your regularly scheduled program.
Here on the Weather Channel.
Still a considerable threat for severe weather as we go through the coming hours here into Saturday morning, but it does look like we are seeing less in the way of tornadic cells, but still numerous thunderstorms with the potential of producing severe weather. As you can see around Memphis, luckily tornado warnings have been dropped, but up further toward the north and northwest of Nashville, still a couple of tornado warnings to deal with. So let's get in there. We've had observed tornadoes with these warnings. As you can see here, Todd County now in Kentucky, that's a tornado warning for the Elkton and Trenton areas. This is an observed tornado, so take cover in that area. And just behind that in Christian County, Fairview and Pembroke, this is a tornado warning. Once again, this has been an observed tornado with reports of some destruction and a very large tornado moving on off toward the north and northeast. So if you are in these areas in and around these counties, please take cover now.
Stairs. So
a dangerous Friday night, now early Saturday morning, as thunderstorms potentially producing tornadoes and have produced dangerous and destructive tornadoes continue to spin up. Now, things have settled down just a little bit, but still dangerous thunderstorms and an observed tornado warning here, an observed tornado for Logan and Simpsons counties. We're just to the west now of Bowling Green. As you can see, this thunderstorm cell is moving on off toward the north and east near Auburn and Lewisburg. Russellville, take cover now as this complex of thunderstorms, and right in there, looks like where we've got the rotation, continue to move on off toward the northeast. So dangerous thunderstorm nonetheless. An observed tornado possible here as we look at the velocity. Really not seeing a good couplet here, but back toward the west near the Elkton area in this warning, we do have a pretty decent couplet. So there may be not only one, but two active tornado warnings with observed tornadoes with them. As you can see back toward the west with this cell, an observed tornado and a considerable threat here for damage near Elkton and Trenton. This is Todd County in Kentucky. This is a tornado warning also with a considerable threat. So these two tornado warnings look like the most dangerous cells out there right now. But other warnings for severe storms and even a tornado warning that's popped up here just south of Louisville. This is for Bullitt and Shelby and Spencer counties, including Harrisonville, Mount Washington, and Shelbyville. Dangerous thunderstorm radar indicated rotation here as this storm heads on off toward the north and northeast. So take cover in this area too if you are under the threat for this cell over the next 30 to 40 minutes. Some other areas that may be affected include Alton, Frankfort, and also into Midway. It does look like it'll pass south of Louisville though. So either way, it does look like the threat here south of Louisville is pretty significant, although the strongest storms continue to be on off toward just to the south of town. So that's that cell, and then further on off toward the north, numerous thunderstorms with warnings in and around Muncie in Indiana, and also just to the north northeast of that. So you got Delaware, Henry and Madison County severe thunderstorm warnings. And